Hello, everyone. Welcome to the year-end edition of Practical Pet Chat. That's right, this will be our last episode of the year, December 14th. But don't worry, we will be back on January 11th. That's right, Lorin, we're coming back for a second year. But that's not all we're going to talk about today, right? No, we're
Nope.
going to talk about really reflecting on the year as a pet parent and setting ourselves up for a positive new year. So, Lorin, as you look at it from a pet parent standpoint, how do you approach that year end review?
So I do a few things. I try to get all of the previous years, any type of vet visits, lab tests, anything like that, organized chronologically with current going backwards, by animal, in their own folders. I review dates for, anything that, if you're a person that gives, pet vaccines, then you need to review those and see when they're due so that you're not over vaccinating, but making sure that you're meeting whatever the requirements are for you, your family, and in your area. Um, the other thing too is it's important to remember that your animals in that year aged a lot faster than we did. So you need to take a look at that. What's happening? What's their dentition like? Is there something new that you have to schedule for them? When is it time for them to be transitioning into a senior type profile? What is your plan coming up? Do you have vacations coming up in the new year? Are there things that you need to plan ahead? I think a lot of people do things on the fly. They don't react until something happens. They don't plan far enough in advance. I know that when I had my business, people called and said, I need boarding today. I'm like, I'm sorry, who is this? Are you a client? Have we seen your animal before? No, but I'm going out of town tomorrow. It's like, yeah, no, that's not how this works. And how stressful for the animal. Not to mention we were stressed out, the pet parents stressed out trying to get where they need to go. It wasn't an emergency. It's a, last minute vacay type thing. And I just think that sitting there looking at the year that's gone by, reviewing that, what did you have to adjust and adapt to for your animals, and then what's coming up in the new year? Plan ahead for any vet visits, plan ahead for any type of tests, any questions you have, start a list for the next time you're going to the vet. Have your animal's teeth checked. Get at least once a year a full checkup, at least once a year. In some cases, if you can too. Have everything examined. Nail trims are important. You have to check anal glands. Those have to be checked. Are you set for your grooming schedule? Do you need to increase it because it's a little bit more than you can handle? The last year you weren't on top of the grooming, so maybe you should schedule more. Um, there are so many things. Does your dog need any training? Maybe you should start reviewing now what trainers you might want to use come spring. Any type of special treatments. Is there a holistic vet in your area? That you could do any type of massage, chiropractic, acupuncture, Reiki, any of those things, red light, laser, therapy, any of those things that would benefit your animal, because they will benefit. But you should start digging into that now and start putting together at least an outline of what your intentions are. Kind of like, I don't want to call them resolutions because we always break those. So just an outline and a plan for your animals going forward for the new year by taking a look at what occurred in the last year.
Yeah, I love that. I think one of the other things too is around this time of year, if I'm remembering correctly, I know I've been on both lists, so but it's a great time to let Santa know. What types of things would be great under the tree for our beloved fur pets? And as you're looking at what did they like this year? Is that going to work next year? Are the things I want to introduce? I love that you talk about that. That was the red light therapy was something that I actually got last year for Bella.
Me too.
Oh, that's so funny.
I just got that for my kids too.
I love it. Yeah, and she didn't need it last year, but I knew it was something down the road, and I had my eye on one, and got a good deal, etc. And I was like, I don't know that she'll need it next year, but I'd like to start incorporating it because
Hmm.
if we slowly incorporate it, I may actually be elongating the time that she doesn't need it, but is
Right.
still benefiting from it. And so I love that. It's so great, great minds. It's almost like we're
Yep.
friends.
I
Uh,
know. It's weird.
it's why we trust each other with our dogs. But I also like too that you said, really taking stock of the year and going back in different areas and really thinking through what worked, what worked in previous years that didn't work this year, and was that a just natural evolution of age and how things go? Or is that something that maybe I'm the issue on? There's a number of things in terms of consistency that I know as I've started to do mine for this year. I've looked and gone, you know what? I was on the road more. I had less time to commit to this, less time to commit to that. That's a me thing. That's not a Bella thing. And then there are things that I also saw within our family dynamics that weren't something that I put an emphasis on, but that Bella really grew to enjoy because I was gone. And she spent more time, and my one daughter in particular really takes it upon herself to make sure she's eating right, she's getting groomed properly when I'm gone, and most importantly, she's getting the engagement, physical and mental, to lift her up. Almost to the point where I'm not sure she even misses me anymore. She like sees the suitcase is like yes, but yeah, there's a good time here to be looking and going. And I love that you talked about the grooming because grooming and nutrition needs change every single year. And planning for that makes it just so much less stressful because as you're doing those things, if you do, as you said, that, hey, I need this now, or I've got to do this now, that doesn't happen with great success as often as we'd like in the pet world. They do need to be eased into things, not just for themselves, but their systems and all the rest of it. The amount of times I think you and I get a reach out of, oh my God. And it's like, well, what did you change? Oh, I just completely changed their food and blah, blah, blah. It's like, and you thought there'd be no impact. Okay, well, there is an impact. Um, but also, too, I think I love that you say they got older this year and at a larger clip than we do. And so the mobility side of things, I think, is the one that catches most of us. And, having the awareness and what I can do and what I should do, how am I going to address this, not just right now, but let me think about this over the last couple of years. What am I looking at for next year? So while it's a year-end review, it's a next year planning time as well.
Right.
The other things to be doing are, hey, I've got a survival kit and a emergency go bag for my pets. When's the last time I updated that? Now, to be blunt, I will typically do that, in the holiday season every year where I'm updating different things, making sure things are current, etc. And revisiting. It's the same thing. Revisit. Do I need all of these things? Do I need different things in that grab and go back? Because the worst time to realize you needed to change something out was when you're on the go getting out of that emergency. And it doesn't matter where you live, how old your pets are, that is an issue that can strike at any moment. So if you haven't done it too, by the way, I know a lot of folks. I had that on my list last year, Rob. I'll get to it. By the way, what should be in that? This is that time of year, really kind of reset, review, and then plan for the success of next year. But yeah, there's a lot to look at as you're doing that. And the other thing the myth I wanted to dispel is that it's been another year. My pet is the pet I'm going to have, dog, cat, bird, etc. That is just not the case. You can teach any of them because every moment you're with them is a teaching moment and an opportunity to learn from them, for them to learn from you. So don't ever stop or feel like I've been trying this year. If what you tried this year didn't work, then make your plan for next year to try something different, some different approach to change or adjust the behavior that's giving you the concern. Um, you'll be surprised. And as we've talked about in other episodes, this is a great time of year because we're typically inside and around our pets more to start that process of re-engaging, trying to address any behaviors that we'd love to see change for the new year.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the episodes we should do in the future is what's in our go bags.
Yep.
You
Same
know,
thing. It's not just the go bag. It's funny because I was just writing myself the note. Uh, when's the last time you updated your, oh my God, my dog is lost info?
right.
Now
Or
I've got,
microchip.
yeah, with the microchip, is the microchip still scanning? You
Hmm.
know, I've got a GPS tracker on Bella. Um, is that still in great condition? I just assume it is, but she's, a rough and tumble dog every day. So, am I looking at that? Do I need to plan for that? Do I have all my information up to date, right? Things happen throughout the year. Phone numbers change, addresses change, all the rest of that. That year end review includes not just the go bag, but the everything. Um, you
Or
know,
their tags, their collars, all of that. Yeah.
all of that. And the milestones, the budgeting. It's funny you say the tags. It's like depending on what locale you live in, you may have to update your tags every 6 months, every 12 months. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. And here's the wild card one that I throw out every year, and it always seems to catch somebody. So if you're that person, I apologize that it's going to catch you this year. But the laws change in many places, not just on a state or federal level, January 1st. And it is surprising the increase in rules and regulations that affect our pets. So,
Ugh.
something else to be checking into at this time of year.
Rules and regulations never decrease. They always increase. It always
Well,
goes the wrong way.
it does. Yeah, rarely does it go the right way. The last thing I wanted to reflect on too is go through all those photos on your phone and just relive what the year was like. There are very few people I meet that can't show me a couple hundred photos of their pets. Exactly. I'm the same way. Um, enjoy that, relive that. That's part of this whole thing, right? It's not just task, task, task. It's wow, what a special year I had, and what a tremendous amount of blessings. So never forget that, and take time to really dive back in and enjoy that, and be present. Be present this time of year too. While you're doing that, reflecting, just with the holidays being here, all the chaos, the travel, the events, and everything else going on. How often were you present this year? Is that something you need
Be
to
right back. I have to go canoodle my dog.
that exactly. I know. Belle, come here. But yeah, I will say, great time of year. It has been a big year for you and I as well.
Mhm.
We did 40 plus episodes. This is our last episode of the year. Is there anything in our year end review that really stands out to you beyond the fact that I am not going to be having Thanksgiving dinner at your place with your turkey tacos anytime
We
soon?
switched. We're having beef tacos now.
Oh my gosh. I'm definitely not showing up to a Thanksgiving at your house. That is one of my definitely fun moments from the year, though, that I, uh, I definitely love that. You're still welcome to come eat at my house anytime you want.
No, I'm never
We are
sure what I'm
still
going to get.
in my
Yikes.
year-end review. Yes, for all of you, and I do enjoy your little tweets and asks of like, do you really? Yes, I really do use insect proteins along with the regular proteins, not just for Bella, but
No, no,
my
no,
my
no.
my two-legged family as well. And that's a part of next year's plan as well. Love the rotation and balance that it brings for us. But what about for you, Lauren? Anything? Yeah, what's that?
That's a fly.
That's a fly. Oh yeah. Well, listen, I
You and
wouldn't
your
tell you.
fly larva. I know you wouldn't, but I wouldn't eat anything at your house because I wouldn't trust it. Freaks me out too bad. Um, I'm just really grateful to the people that have tuned in to our little show and shared it with their friends and listened and asked questions. Um, Grateful for my friend Rob.
Oh,
And it's it's always interesting and fun. Um, you should hear the side conversations, y'all. It'd be something. I'm not sure that we would be able to put our little show on air.
yeah.
But they're very fun. But it's been great. There's been so much that has gone on this year, so it's hard to pinpoint one or two things that, really stand out because there's been a few.
There definitely has. I think one of the other big ones for me is the other show that you and I do, the Practical Pet Business,
Hmm.
because we have so many friends, and you and I have both been deeply in the pet world, in the pet business side of it as well. And that was a great, kind of collaboration of us talking to a lot of you folks and just, what things are you interested in? And we were able to discern that there was enough interest and plenty of topics to, what, let's go ahead and record those as well. And I
Right.
think that was another highlight for me this year. I'm looking forward to where we go with it in the new year. Uh, but overall, you
Well,
are,
and anybody can listen to either one of them too, so that's nice.
yeah, and I think that's the other fun part of this is a lot of it's also driven by those who are listening. So
Hmm.
whether it's your favorite podcast network, your favorite vidcast, go into the website, go into the social media stuff, we've really tried and we've gotten better as the year has gone on to make it available everywhere. It's a nightmare to try and track all of that stuff, but
Yeah.
it is something that we appreciate it. And on that note, if you are someone who's got an idea for us, who's got a comment and wants to send us a picture, send us pictures. I joke often, and that's just our little in between because I was really worried. I see how active folks are in Lauren's group, and I was like, I don't have the time to read a couple hundred emails a week. So, Lauren, can you please do that? But we really do, and we appreciate getting all of that. Send us an email, even a just, hey, thanks for the year. We'd love to see those. You can send that to practicalpetchat@gmail.com or hit us up on any of those networks that you listen or engage.
Send us pictures of your pets.
That is so true. On that, thank you for a wonderful 2025. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you all in 2026. January is just around the corner, as always. So, Lauren, I cannot tell you or the audience how much I appreciate you and Kelly, the pups, all of it. It really is an annual highlight for me, and I'm glad that we're getting to share this with our other friends out there.
Agreed. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. The The content of this podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as, nor should it be construed as, professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment for your pets. Always seek the advice of a qualified veterinarian with any questions you may have regarding your pet's health or medical condition. Never disregard professional veterinary advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. The hosts and the guests of this podcast are not liable for any actions taken based on the information shared during these episodes. Any reliance on the information provided is solely at your own risk. Copyright 2025 Practical Pet Chat, all rights reserved. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or reproduction of any content from this podcast, including but not limited to audio, scripts, and show notes, is prohibited without prior written consent. The opinions and views expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Practical Pet Chat.